Lesson preparation. What are they looking for in the LingoAce demo? So let's go over the points here, and then we'll jump into the classroom that I have prepared so we can see what it looks like. First, preload and review all lesson materials. And make note that when you do go into the classroom to record your demo, it starts right away. So be prepared for that. Maintain smooth pacing and transitions, and complete all lesson slides without rushing. So it's important that we don't rush, but also that we don't spend too much time on one specific slide because we want to get through the lesson on time. So let's head over to my classroom here that I've prepared. This is a lesson that I created for level 1 called My Home. So we want to make sure that we introduce the lesson here, right? But also that we've gone through the lesson and see how many slides there are, because I don't want to cut it off short. So in my specific lesson here, I have this slide. This is my house. It's pink. Note that there is a star up here. So in the classroom, there are lots of things to click. Sometimes you actually have to go to the toolbar, choose the mouse or the arrow, and click on something. And when you do, maybe a flashcard will pop up. Here I have the flashcard for house. There are also other things to click, maybe down in the bottom left. Here we have a question mark. So this is the extension question or the comprehension question that comes after. In this case, what color is your house? So I have to be prepared. I have to know that these things are in the lesson slides. I need to know where to click. I need to know how to use my toolbar, because if I'm using the pen tool, because I was drawing on the screen, or if I was using the laser pointer, which by the way doesn't show up in the recording. So if you want your reviewer to know that you're indicating something on the screen, I suggest using the draw tool instead of the laser pointer. So if you are on one of those and you try to click, it's not going to work. You have to go back to that arrow or mouse tool to be able to click on those things. And this is the end of my example slides, but in the demo, make sure you go through all of them and know where to click and know how many slides there are, because you don't want to lose points there for not being prepared. You want to know where to end the lesson, and when you are on that last slide, you want to say goodbye to your student as well. So we don't want to rush either. So what might that look like? If I start on the intro page, right, the title page, and say, okay, let's get started. That's rushing because I didn't introduce myself. I didn't ask the student's name. I didn't introduce the lesson. Okay, so don't rush. Get to know your student. You can spend up to a minute here, maybe even a minute and a half, and that's okay. Another thing that would show that I'm unprepared is maybe I see a rainbow, or maybe I see toys, or maybe I see animals, and I say, okay, today we're going to learn about animals. But the lesson title here is My Home, right? That makes me look like I'm not prepared. Or maybe I'll focus on colors throughout the lesson. But if I go through to the next slide, I see that the key word here is house, right? The lesson title was My House in my example. So I want to focus on teaching my student the word house. I'm not so interested in teaching the colors. That's kind of extra. The students should already know colors at this point, so it's kind of a review. Maybe they don't know all the colors, so it could be an extension as well. But this is not what I'm focusing on here. What I'm focusing on is house. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about here is not rushing and making those smooth transitions between slides. So if I'm on the intro slide, I'll say, hello, my name is Teacher Mara. What's your name? Make sure to pause for the student response, right? Nice to meet you, George. Here I can ask some questions to get to know my student. Maybe I want to kind of assess them to see where they are at, because level 1 could be I know no English, or it could be I know some things like maybe I know ball, maybe I know some colors, right? So I can say, George, what do you see? Maybe I can circle some things on the screen, or maybe I could get to know my student more by asking, how old are you? 1, 2, So things like this, get to know your student. And then I can introduce the lesson. I can say, George, today we will talk about My home. Let's go. Okay, so that would be a smooth transition. And then I'll probably erase what I have on the screen and go on to the next slide. Okay, and here I don't want to use too much language. I just kind of want to jump in and focus on the vocabulary. So I might draw my students' attention to the keyword here and say house and get my student to repeat. So that would be a smooth transition. What I don't want to do is from that intro slide here, I don't want to say, okay, today we're going to talk about things in the home. We're going to learn so many words. I'm so excited. That's a lot of language. It's not very smooth. We just want to say one transitional thing. Usually just let's go because remember, they're lower level students. We don't want to use too much language. Okay, so that is lesson preparation. Let me know if I missed anything or if you have any questions.